What is up, guys, and welcome to the One Night in Bangkok podcast. Tonight, we are discussing everything you need to know about Bangkok nightlife, from the Gogo bars to the nightclubs, the beer bars, and everything in between. Make sure you stick around until the end because we're going to give you some pro tips on what to look out for and how to avoid some specific scams. And I'm sure there's going to be a ton of helpful things to learn for your next trip to Bangkok. If you guys are new here, my name is Eric. I've been living in Bangkok for almost 5 years now. And if you are visiting Thailand soon, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We've got so many cool people coming on in the next few weeks, and I don't want you to miss anything. Links for everyone and everything we talk about are going to be down below. And also drop your comments down below the video so that we can answer any questions you have. Now, without further ado, I've got some friends joining me tonight. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Chad, American. I've lived in Bangkok 5.5 years.
And
Modzii, I'm from Thailand.
Cool. And Chad, we've known each other for probably like 2 years now.
Yeah,
around
at least
2 years. And around the time I met you, you started an interesting project. Can you talk about that?
Sure. I walked into a partial ownership of some beer bars in a new area that kind of blew up during the COVID time because all the bars were supposed to be closed. And some of these kind of snuck under the radar because they were open air outside bars that no one really knew about yet. So they stayed open a little, I guess, illegally, but whatever.
Yeah. So for people that haven't been to Thailand before, this might be a little confusing. But here, there's often a lot of rules, regulations about all kinds of things, including like bars and nightclubs and restaurants. But in Thailand, a lot of times those things are very selectively enforced.
Correct.
So this area where you had a bar was one of the only areas that was open for like late night bars, that kind of thing during COVID.
For any time bars. It blew up during the first wave of COVID, where everything should have been locked down. But once the second wave started, I saw it was like the only place that I knew to go out and hang out. The police allowed it all the time, and I guess or at least they pretend to allow it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but the crazy thing about these kinds of things is like it's totally unpredictable, which is why having a business in Thailand, like if you own like a brick and mortar business, like a restaurant, a bar, something like that, it can be really challenging, right?
Yeah, for sure. I would always say like be really careful of any big investment because it could be taken from you any second.
Yeah.
If the wrong person wants to take it from you.
Yeah. So let's describe, because I want to get into this a little, but let's describe what exactly you had. So you had this little bar. How big was it, do you think?
Oh gosh. I think it was like 5 by 5 square meters, one of them, but it allowed seating on the outside of that square. And then another one was maybe, I don't know, 15 by 10 square meters or 15 by 7 square meters.
So it's like this tiny little, it's almost like the size of a large bathroom, right? But you have some chairs on the outside and it's in this complex of bars that people can walk around and hang
the
out
complex was like 20 plus bars.
Yeah.
All beer bar style things, which, it means a lot of ladies working there wanting to get drinks for drink commission. Everyone has a bell to ring. Buying a drink for the whole bar, all this kind of things.
So beer bars, right? So that's kind of one of the categories in the nightlife scene in Thailand. I would say in my opinion, there's kind of 4 different types of places. There's beer bars, go-go bars, nightclubs, and kind of everything else, like normal stuff, everything else. So for beer bars, how exactly does the business model work? Explain it.
Well, it's all about selling lady drinks. So you basically look for girls to work in the bar to ask customers to come in and buy drinks for them. That's really how it works. But it's typically not good if there's only one bar. They typically come in bunches. So usually to be successful, you need a cluster of these bars together to draw people in. They want to come and kind of bounce around bar to bar and take a look at what's going on. But if there's just one individual place like this, it might be kind of frowned upon or people might pass it up and not have any interest in it.
Okay. So yeah, like the place you were in, how many bars do you think there were? 20, 30?
20 or 25, yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot. And during that time, they were rapidly building more, right?
Yep, and even now they're going to be building a whole nother stretch of them.
Okay,
going
wow.
to the next soy over.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, a lot of people like this kind of thing. Personally, it's not my thing, but I think especially a bit of the older crowd, older guys that come to Thailand,
Right.
this type of place seems to be like maybe their favorite.
It seems to me it's more of like a Pattaya style nightlife than it would be a Bangkok style nightlife. Yeah.
So, so in these bars, there can be like, what, a bunch of girls working, 5, 6, how many?
Depends on the bar.
Yeah.
It could be 2 or 3.
Because some are small, some are really big. Like some
yeah.
have pool tables in them, and then
Right, some have
some are
multiple pool
basically-
tables. So it could be 2 or 3, like a cashier, an owner, and maybe one staff or a couple staff. And every day maybe that changes. And then other bars maybe have 20, just
Yeah.
depending on how big it is, right?
And the girls working in this bar, they're not there to, you know, hang out for their health. They're there to bring customers in.
Right.
And at kind of at that point, there's nothing really bad going on. I mean, people a lot of times I think have this wrong idea of Bangkok that everything is like, I don't know, it gets like so, for lack of a better word, like so dirty. But a lot of times they just come in, they chat with the guys, whatever, and then that's it.
Yeah, it just depends. Like, I guess girls are working there for different reasons, and it might depend on what that girl's priorities are, what she's looking for. And there's a whole spectrum of reasons to be there.
That's the key word, spectrum, because a lot of people that come here, they make the mistake of thinking that everyone is the same. It's all this way or all that way. And in my experience being here, yes, like this kind of thing does exist and that kind of thing exists, but it is like a spectrum. So you can find people that, I don't know, I'm trying to keep it safe for YouTube, but you can find people that just go, they have a drink, they go home.
Right.
And then you have other people that are more like hardcore about their whatever.
Sure.
So
Yeah. You know, the big thing about this area too, what's funny is that you don't get a lot of customers. You don't need a lot of customers. It's just actually the good customers. Some people come and spend 10 or 20,000 baht at a time, and that happens all the time.
but that's like
You know, $300 or $600.
Yeah, $300, $600.
Yeah, and
How do
one
you spend
evening-
$600 at a beer bar in Thailand?
Typically ringing the bell.
Oh yeah, the bell. So okay, so let me explain. So a lot of these bars, they have a bell hanging over the bar, like something you see on a ship or something.
So don't ring it by accident.
Yeah, do not ring it by accident, because what happens if a customer walks up and rings the bell?
You buy a drink for everyone. Well, at least all the staff in the bar. Some
Yeah.
bars is everybody in the bar.
Yeah, so that can add up pretty quick.
Correct.
So why do these guys ring the bell? I mean, why do you think?
Normally it's just supporting. Maybe they know the bar owner.
Yeah.
Or they like one of the girls there at the bar, and they've sort of asked them, "Come on, my friends also need some help here. Can you ring the bell for us? It's just a little bit of money." And once in a while they do promotions on these things as well. Like, hey, you can ring the bell for a
Yeah.
set amount of money. But usually it's just to help the bar get attention, and maybe more people will come over after that.
And if someone rings a bell in one of these bars, like everybody knows it, because
Correct.
yeah,
They
everybody
all
starts
make a big deal out of
screaming
it,
and
right.
whatever. And actually, now that I mention it, I was talking to my friend, Bad Guy Mark. You've met him before, I think,
Yeah.
right? So I'm seeing him later, and I was talking to him this morning on the phone, and he was saying like, friend of a friend, some guy came to Thailand to visit a friend, and that guy spent 500,000 or 600,000 baht in one night out going to these bars. And I was like, how is that even possible? And I think one of the only ways to do it is like multiple of these, ringing the bells in these bars. So
Right.
because it can add up quick if it's a bar full of like 20 people. So
Sure.
anyway, so okay, so you had this small little beer bar in this like complex, and when you signed up for it, you had to give a deposit, right? Or like a security deposit or something.
Yeah, right.
What can you share some of the numbers, because it's kind of interesting? How much did it cost to get this thing going?
Well, originally it was really cheap because it was in the middle of COVID. So it was just before the second shutdown wave of COVID came through. They didn't have many tourists here, and that place thrives on tourism. So they were offering a COVID discount. I think it was about 25 or 26,000 baht per month.
Okay.
For the rental.
Yeah.
But we knew that in 6 months' time, whenever they deemed COVID to be over, that would double. So after that, the rent went back to what it was supposed to be normal at about 56,000 baht per month, something like this.
Okay.
And so the rental's always like a condo. It's 2 months deposit.
Okay. Yeah. Here, if you rent an apartment or a condo, generally they want like a 2-month security deposit that they hold
Right.
and return to you after. So, Yeah, I really don't have much experience with like working in bars or nightclubs here, but in the US, I have a business where we produce concerts and nightlife events. So like I know how much this stuff would cost in the US, but I don't know what's normal here. The interesting thing about your situation is the bar was so small. So I don't even know if like that's normal or if that's high, or I don't even know.
I think it's normal for the area, the tourist area that it was in.
Yeah.
But if you were to go anywhere else, you could rent an entire building for 15,000 baht, like 4 stories.
Right.
Put a small bar in the restaurant in the bottom and have people living upstairs, everything.
The bar in the area was in Nana. So that's
right.
That's
a lot more expensive in that area.
Yeah, because that area is really known for these kinds of like beer bars and that style of nightlife. So
right.
I guess if you're going to have a place like this, you want to have it at the mecca of beer bars in Bangkok.
Yep.
So so how long did you have that for?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. Maybe a year and a half.
Okay. And so we met up the other day. I hadn't seen you in a while, and you were telling me what happened eventually. So can you go into that?
Yeah, so the place became ultimately really popular, maybe the most popular area in Bangkok for a while, as other places weren't allowed to open due to the COVID restrictions. Eventually, they started to open up slowly, but they had lost a lot of customers. So at some point, there was a big setup of some sort to close this place down. I guess a couple of underage girls started working in one of the bars. From what I saw, the bar owner got arrested, but didn't get in any trouble, and was just out of that plaza.
Yeah.
So it seemed maybe they were in on it. I don't know.
All right.
But anyhow, so after this, everything closed for 3 days only. After 3 days, everything opened up. After the 3 days, a government officer came and said, hey, this place is not licensed to be an entertainment plaza. It's only supposed to be a parking lot. So they shut everything down for 4 months. So at that time, no one really trusted the property managers. They were kind of really deceitful. They'd already kind of cheated the system. And for myself, I didn't want to go back and join again. So basically, they used that as an excuse to blame the other bar owners, but also raise the rents, change the geography a little bit of all the bars. So in my case, they destroyed the bar.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a really polite way to say they just bulldozed your bar.
Yeah, they knocked my bar down and said they were going to make a parking structure, which they never made.
And they didn't tell you they were going to do this. You just showed up one day.
No, they told us. They said,
did.
hey, we're tearing your bar down. We're moving you to this other space that's smaller, and now I wouldn't have access for the outside seating anymore because there'd be bars bordering this one. And then they said, my rent has now gone up, and I have to pay more deposit.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm under contract, and you tore my bar down, and I would certainly not pay for more. You should be rebuilding my bar and paying for that. And so I just took the deposit back and said, forget it, which took at least 9 months to get the money back. They kept making excuses that they had trouble, didn't want to pay anything back until someone finally re-rented the space, and then they gave the money back.
So this is a really typical situation, I think, here in Thailand.
Yeah.
Because, back in the US, if you have a contract, especially for something like this, it's usually pretty good. You can rely on it, usually. And if something happens, it goes to court and whatever. Here, the system is very different. So in your case, this plot of land where these bars are, I don't know exactly what it's for, but do we think maybe they're waiting to build a condo on it or something?
Everyone thinks that's eventually the plan. Yeah. And I've heard now that they've given them a 3-year window. They can still stay and run bars. But the whole place was supposed to be a parking structure. So they built a condo across the street. And they were supposed to build a parking garage there for this place. And for some of the local businesses. But that never happened. And so they ended up building like a tin roof pop-up style bar plaza instead.
Right. Yeah. So in this case, they're waiting for permits or they're waiting for some construction to eventually happen. But in the meantime, someone has the great idea, hey, we can make some money on this land in this prime location. So they just set up these like rinky-dink bars.
Yep.
And once it starts to get popular, it snowballs more and more open until you have a whole spread of bars, like however many, 20 or 30. But then the problem is when they're ready to do whatever they want to do, they need to get everybody out. But you can't just kick everyone out, right? So we think maybe they set up this thing where they plant underage girls, or maybe they're not underage, I don't even know. And then they say, oh, there's illegal activity going on here, and they shut the whole thing down.
Yeah,
but
could be.
really the whole thing is like orchestrated. So we don't know if that's what happened. I want to be clear. We just like speculating, but
Well, my theory was that some other entity, another area that's popular, wanted the girls to come back to work to that area.
Oh, right, because
and they
COVID
wanted
was
customers
ending.
back.
Yeah, because
Correct.
during COVID, so many places were closed.
Yeah, they were just starting to open back
Yeah.
up, but they weren't opening as normal. They were opening. They could only sit outside and be open. They couldn't use the inside other than the bathrooms.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're thinking about starting a business in Bangkok, these are the stories you need to hear about because it
Sure.
really is cutthroat. So, okay, well, those are beer bars. And it's not just this area. I mean, there's other ones. Like, I think another popular one that I think of is Hilary, right? What do you think? Do you think that's kind of the same thing?
The same style of bar?
Yeah. I don't really go to Hilary, but I know a lot of people
I would
do.
say no because they typically have a really good live band going on.
That's true.
So normally Filipino singers or really good Thai English speaking singers.
Yeah.
I have never been approached in a Hilary bar to buy a lady drink.
Oh, really?
Maybe they have them, but
Yeah.
no one has ever asked me before.
You see, I don't really go to places like Hilary because I feel like it more caters to a bit of a older crowd.
Yeah. Now,
So I don't really
I'm
know.
sure that they do have it. And in the daytime, if you go there and play pool, you're not there for
Yeah.
like the band or something. I'm sure that they're trying to sell those as well. But I don't think they're as prevalent
Yeah.
as a beer bar. They're not pushing it as much.
Okay. And a lot of these bars in Bangkok and in Thailand, they have great live music. We don't see as much of that in the US, I think, unless you're like in Nashville or something. But that was something that was really cool when I came here that I noticed is there's like great cover bands in all these bars. And it's so cheap to go to them. You just buy a drink or whatever and you can hang out and enjoy some good music. So, all right. So those are beer bars in a nutshell. So what is the difference between a beer bar and a go-go bar?
I guess the dancers, right?
Is it just the dancers, do you think?
It's the activities going on.
Okay.
So even in my area, and so it's the beer bars,
Yeah.
there's some restrictions there that are not really like this. I don't know. They're just sort of, everybody knows you're not allowed to do some things because then you'd be a go-go bar, and that area doesn't permit any go-go bars. So I think any sort of stage dancing in partial clothing.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they do that still. They do have poles and some pole dancers here and there. But for sure, there's no nudity allowed. Whereas in the go-go bars, it's like an American strip club, sort of. In some cases, the girls may get naked in these. So I think it's more of a finding a girl dancing on a stage versus sitting and drinking with a girl at the bar.
Yeah, so go-go bar in a nutshell is probably the closest thing is like an American strip club that we would correlate it to. But
you could kind of compare it, but you really
there's
can't.
some differences. So
Yeah.
I actually think a lot of them, there's no girls that are naked, just a small percentage. I would think the
Yeah, it
majority
depends on the one
actually
you
they're
go
not
to.
naked.
I think that's also changed too. So pre-COVID, it was a lot different.
Oh, okay.
But now you're right. It's a lot of girls in bikinis or something like this standing on the stage with a number.
But
Yeah.
let's explain the business model here because at a bar like this, if you walk in and sit down, probably within like 30 seconds, what's going to happen?
Well, first they're going to ask what drink you want.
Yeah, so you'll get your drink, you sit down,
correct.
and then what happens?
And then you'll get approached by at least one or three or four girls that want to come and sit next to you. And if they don't, if they're busy, the mama-san ladies, the smaller, older ladies that get the drinks for you, will be coming up to you very quickly and asking, do you like any of the girls on stage? Would you like them to come and sit with you?
Yeah, so the whole thing here is they want you to buy the girls' drinks, and they call them lady drinks.
Right.
And a lady drink is like at an inflated price. Like what? Like double? What do you think?
It's getting a little bit more than that now because lady drinks have turned into a different scheme. They now try to get double lady drinks off you.
Yeah.
So they want a
You're
Coke
dropping a lot of
chaser
stuff
as well.
real fast. We have to slow down. So, but standard lady drink, like if a beer is like 100 baht, then like a lady drink might be 200 baht, just for example.
It depends where you're
and
at. But
again,
it
we're
can range
generalizing,
between
but-
180 to
Right.
maybe 350 baht.
But the reason it's like that is because the girls are getting commission off of these drinks. That's one of the ways they make money. Now, you mentioned mama-san. What is that?
Typically, the older ladies, not always, it depends on the type of bar too, that are working to facilitate the if you like some girl to come and sit with you or not.
Yeah, kind of like a manager.
Actually, I think they're kind of managing a set of a group of the girls.
Yeah, what I find is maybe in a place, depending on how big it is, there's like 3, 4, 5 of these older women that manage like
Yeah,
8,
they may
10,
have
something like that.
their own set of girls. Correct.
yeah.
Yes.
So In your opinion, do you think you could go to a go-go bar and not do anything, like not buy girls drinks or anything like that, just hang out and...
Sure, I've done it plenty of times.
And that's one thing I wanted to mention is like, you can go to one of these bars with your friends, just have a drink, listen to music, and then leave. Doesn't mean you're going for like any specific reason.
But I will say you should be a little careful about that if you want to keep going back, because at some point, if you're not buying any drinks, they're going to sort of label you as a certain type of customer.
That's me.
Well, that's fine. But the thing is, I know one guy.
Yeah.
He and maybe he's done some things that I don't know about, but he's told me the story that he doesn't drink. So he went there and he buys. He'll buy a drink for the girls once in a while.
Yeah.
But then he got on his phone and he went to an area somewhere else. And then one of the mama-sans actually told the security about this guy, don't let him come back here. And they kicked him out of Nana Plaza forever.
Really?
Yes.
I've never heard anything like that.
And so it was because of one of the mama-sans didn't like him because he didn't buy enough drinks or didn't buy the mama-san
There
drink.
must
And
be
so they
something
kicked
else
him out.
to the story. Because
Could be, but I think if you're coming all the time and like maybe... I wouldn't say harassing the girls, but taking their time and never buying them something, right?
Okay.
And then you start to become a problem customer a little bit.
Right. So if you're just kind of hanging out, like having a drink, enjoying the music, whatever, just...
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No one's going to care.
Yeah.
Because I don't drink alcohol. I've never drank alcohol. And so if I go to one of these places, I kind of just mind my own business. And if I see someone I know, like a girl I know or something like that, that's kind of like an acquaintance or a friend, yeah, maybe I'll get her a drink sometimes, maybe. But no one's ever hassled me. So I have a feeling this guy did something else that we don't know about.
I probably think so too.
Yeah.
But also I think, I really think he just was going all the time. You know, he was going too much and never buying much at all.
Okay.
And then they sort of just got annoyed by him doing that too much. And then they told the security, hey, don't let this guy come back.
Okay, got it. A few things to watch out for in these bars that I've seen. And again, they're all different. Like, we're generalizing here, but some are like more hardcore and cutthroat than others. Some are like more relaxed. So just know that. But one thing that I've personally seen is when you buy drinks, they write it on a little slip and they put it in a cup in front of you.
Sure.
And sometimes if someone gets a little drunk, they'll add drinks to the bill without you knowing. And especially if you've had like 4, 5, 6, 10 drinks, if you're ordering lots of drinks for different people, it's hard to keep track of what you've ordered. And then at the end of the night, you go to pay the bill and maybe there's a few extra ones in there. Have you seen that?
Sure. Yeah. More so at the beer bars than anything else. I see that happening when someone's not buying drinks for multiple people.
Yeah.
So if the guy is buying lady drinks for a group of people, so they start sometimes to get a little bit of assuming, hey, he must be okay to buy me drinks too, and someone else will come in and start taking drinks and putting it on that ticket. So there may not be any acknowledgement of yes, that was okay or not. Normally they don't even care at the end, but I have seen times where people got really surprised by their bill. Sometimes that was because they just went a little overboard on themselves. And sometimes it's because maybe the bar added a bunch of extra things. And I've heard some stories as well in different places where they have rules for if a girl enters your area, you have to pay for her per hour to just be there, but she just walks by and then they count that. But also they roll up a bunch of empty bottles next to you and then they charge you for the empty bottles as well.
Mm.
I've seen these kind of scams happen or heard of them actually.
Yeah, I haven't
places.
seen too much like that. Like, I've never really had a problem myself, but I think part of the reason is because, like I said, I don't drink, so I'm not getting drunk in these bars and like losing my mind. And, you try to be respectful and not be an idiot. And I think if you are kind of just like nice to these people and respect them, then there's a lot less chance you're going to get scammed or hit with something. But
sure.
if you come in and you act like an idiot, they're going to most likely look for a spot to get you. So I saw one time a guy just refused to pay.
Oh, right.
And he was like, started arguing he was yelling, which if you've never been to Thailand, or maybe you don't know, if you get into an argument here, do not start yelling. Just, it's a really bad idea. So 5 seconds later, 3 police officers walked in the door and basically told him to sit down and pull out his wallet. And he did. So there was no more problem, but yeah, it's not worth it getting into an argument, I think. And I think the better solution is just to be a little proactive and just kind of keep an eye on things before they happen.
Well, there's cameras everywhere too. So, and I've seen the same thing where some guy came with his 2 drunk friends or something and spent a bunch of money, and then they left the bar and didn't pay. And the guy thought he had paid already, but he paid at a different bar before. So after some huge argument ensued, they called the police to come and then check the cameras. And of course, the cameras showed the guy never paid, but he was there drinking for a while. So that kind of thing happens a lot too. So you're always, if you're certainly in the wrong or not sure if you've done the wrong thing or not, cameras are everywhere. So they're going to catch you.
Yeah.
So don't try it.
Modzii, I mean, you, like these kinds of places, like you're not going to go hang out at a beer bar for fun, right? Or are you? Like, it's like Thai girls aren't going to hang out at these places unless they're working there, right?
I go.
You go hang out at a beer bar just for fun?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that.
All my friends have celebrate in the bar beer too, like a birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I mean, I guess if like
I had a bachelorette party at my bar with 15 Farang ladies.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm totally wrong then. I mean, I've seen foreigner girls in these bars sometimes, but it's not common. Usually, what kind of people are in like these beer bars and go-go bars? Tends to be
it's usually older, lonely guys that want to go and meet young Thai girls. So
okay. Modzii, if you wanted to go out for a night and then just like have fun with your friends, where are you gonna go?
For me, I like to go Havana, Sing Sing,
Okay.
Nightclub.
So you're
Party.
talking about the nightclubs. So let's
Yeah.
talk about that. So in Bangkok, there's obviously a lot of nightclubs, and they kind of cater to different customers, different music, that kind of thing. So you just mentioned Havana Social. So Chad, have you been there?
yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So Havana is kind of like I don't know if I call it upscale, but it's a little more high-so. It's like more Latin music. They have a live band. I think once or twice a week. It used to be on Thursdays. I don't know if it still is. So that's really cool. That makes it different. But Thai girls love Latin music. They don't know what they're saying in the lyrics, but they love it.
The dancing as well.
Yeah. And then you said you like Havana, and where else?
Sing Sing.
Sing Sing Theater, yeah. So Sing Sing Theater is, by the way, I think one of like the best designed nightclubs I've ever been to. But it's in the Sukhumvit area, and most of the time the music is like house music. But they also have like certain nights with hip hop and
Thursday night is like ladies' night and hip hop.
Yeah, I was there last night actually. So like Thursday nights they do a ladies' night, and you get 3 free drinks.
Yeah, 3 drinks.
Yeah. So if you want to meet some single girls, I don't know, go to Sing Sing on Thursday night. Yeah. So let me ask you this, Chad.
Right.
If you go to a nightclub, what kind of girls are you going to meet there? Are you going to meet like normal Thai girls that have like a day job, but like a corporate kind of job? Are you going to meet freelancers? Who are you going to meet there?
I think it's going to be a mix of everyone.
Yeah. So that's the really interesting about Bangkok, that new people that come here, especially guys, get so confused about, is you can go anywhere and meet literally anyone. And it really just takes, I think, like being here for you to be able to know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like still sometimes you maybe don't even know the difference.
Yeah.
Sort of you get screened out by these people a lot of times with certain questions. Sometimes
what are the questions there?
Where you come from? What's your job?
Where are you from? What's your job? How long are you in Thailand?
Yeah, how long you live in Thailand?
Yeah. But if you can say like, if someone asks me that and I say like, UT Pratet Thai Ma CP Lao, I'm immediately weeded out.
Yes. Yeah.
She's laughing. Like, yeah. They go, oh, like, you know. So I think even if you know some like basic things before you come here, like you don't have to speak Thai, but I don't know, if you know a few things that make you not sound like an idiot, then I think that'll go a long way. But if you're like, oh, I just got off the plane yesterday, like, oh, you're in for a world of pain.
Well, but sometimes that's what they're looking for. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, so so personally, the places I like are Sing Sing. I like Havana Social, but I don't know, it's not. I think Havana has a bit of an older crowd, especially for guys. I don't know about the girls, but at Sing Sing, there's a lot of like European guys. One thing that I notice in a lot of these nightclubs, Modzii, have you noticed this? Like a lot of these nightclubs, there's almost no Thai guys, especially in the Sukhumvit area at least. You go to these places and it's all Thai girls and foreign guys, and that's kind of like a weird thing when I first came here. Do you think about that or no? Like, why are there no Thai guys here? That never crossed your mind. You're like, I don't need the Thai guys. But if you go further out from the center of Bangkok, like if you go north towards like Hoi Quang or Lad Prao, there are other nightclubs out there that are going to be either all Thai or maybe like all Asian, like more like Korean,
Right.
Japanese, Thai, something like that. Have you been to any of those?
Yeah, I've been to tons.
Give me one.
The one near Ramkhamhaeng University is called Hong Samud.
Yeah.
And it's like a mostly Thai-only nightclub. So there's a live band there until about midnight, and then some sort of like EDM style DJ
I've never been
for the
there,
late
yeah.
night hours. But it's actually a really fun club. So as you go from the outside, it's almost like a large beer garden, and there's a live band out there as well. So if you go to the back of that area, that's where you'd enter the nightclub, and then there's a giant nightclub inside.
Yeah, and if you guys come to Bangkok, I'd recommend maybe one night checking out one of these kind of more local nightclubs. It's a totally different experience for sure.
But definitely go with a few friends, just to be more comfortable. Like I've been with only Thai people before, and then I've been with a bunch of foreigner friends as well. And so I enjoyed it a lot more with the foreigner friends than with just being the only foreigner there.
Well, one of the places my friend really likes is Route 66. Have you been there?
Not yet.
You've never been to Route 66?
No, not yet.
Okay. So Route 66 is a giant nightclub in the RCA area, which is an area with a lot of nightclubs and bars. And it probably holds, I don't know, 1,000 people, 1,500 people, a lot. It's one of the bigger ones. But it's basically entirely Thai and Asian. Like my friend and I will be the only Western guys there on any given night, usually. And which has its benefits and drawbacks, but there's like a lot of Koreans that go there.
Right.
Also see a lot of Japanese, Chinese, but no like Americans, no Europeans, something like that. So that might be your thing, or it might not be your thing, depending on like what you're into. But it is interesting that like there are all these different kinds of places. It's not just like the nightclubs along Sukhumvit Road.
Mm-hmm.
So Modzii, you said you liked Havana and Sing Sing. What about Sugar?
Sugar, yeah, I like to if I want to hear some the hip hop.
Yeah, Sugar is a big hip hop club.
Yeah,
I like it there too.
hip-hop.
Those are like three solid recommendations if you come here. Havana, social for Latin music, Sugar for hip hop, and if you like house music or like top 40 EDM kind of stuff, you can check out Sing Sing. What about Bobo? Bobo is over there too.
Bobo is different now. It before I like it, but now it changed because now it's different.
How's it different?
I think before it's more fun. Now it's not fun.
Okay.
Yes.
Why? Because of the people or the music?
The music, yes.
Okay. So one thing at these bars that I thought was kind of weird when I came here, like in the US, you have the option to just pay the cover charge or buy a table. And you'll get like a bottle, a table, like a couch to sit on. But here, a lot of the clubs, they have these like standing tables. And they don't have like a traditional like dance floor necessarily. Like Sugar is a good example, right? So you go in, they've got the big VIP tables, but then they've got a ton of these standing tables, and they want you to buy a bottle, and then you can have the table. That I feel like that's kind of a Thai or an Asian thing.
It's a push to buy bottles at these clubs, but when you go to the Thai style clubs, you kind of need to get there super early to get one of these tables.
Yeah, to get in a good spot.
Not just to get one in general.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Thai clubs are just so jam-packed full of people. Even if you go to the ones in Ekamai here, Babyface or any of these, these cassette or any of these.
All these Thai style clubs.
Yeah, they're totally jam-packed full of people where you can't comfortably move at all. If they had this in the U.S., like a fire marshal would come in and kill it, It's that crowded. Like, you can't move.
And like, Modzii, if you see a guy in one of these clubs and he doesn't have a table, he doesn't have a bottle on a table, and he's just walking around with a beer, and he comes up to you and your friends, are you going to want to talk to him? Like, you just see him going around talking to each girl at every table.
Yes.
You'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I see some of these guys a lot from like Europe, the West, and they don't kind of understand the Thai table thing, and they'll just show up with like a beer. And I feel like they just look silly sometimes when they kind of just migrate from spot to spot.
Well, I think it depends on
Yeah.
what the guy looks like as well, right?
That's true.
He's going to help himself one way or the other that way. But if you're going to a place like that, especially on like a ladies' night or something like
Yeah.
this, there might be a lot of people without tables because they're getting free drinks. So if you go to Sing Sing on ladies' night, you want to have a table with a group of guys because
see, that's funny
because all the ladies are going to be getting free drinks, right?
Okay.
And they're not going to need to buy a table. So they're going to be there hanging out for their free drinks, but they'll come and hang out with you as your table because they don't have a table of their
that's
own.
so funny to me because I was going to say the exception to not buying a table is Sing Sing, because Sing Sing is set up in a way where they have like an actual dance floor and they have a lot of places to hang out where I feel like it's not awkward to not have a table.
Well, it gets a little crowded in there, though,
It
right?
does get super crowded,
And then you
yeah.
kind of want your table space at that point.
Okay. But a place like Sugar or Route 66, I kind of feel like if you don't have a table, it's kind of annoying to be in there because you don't have a spot to stand if you want to talk to someone.
for sure.
It's like it can be really awkward.
I went into Space Plus as well.
Oh yeah.
And the tables were sold out, so there was no getting a table, and they said there was standing room by the bars.
yeah.
So I went
Forget
there,
it.
and there was like barely. I had to stand on like a stairway, and order a drink from the bar, and that was my spot, is to stand on some stairs. And I was kind of just waiting for a friend to come meet me, and once he got there, we left.
Space Plus is one of the biggest clubs in Bangkok. It
Yeah.
might be the biggest club. I'm not sure.
It's really nice inside, but you definitely need a table.
It definitely, in my opinion, has the best production of any nightclub in Bangkok. It's almost like a mini arena, and I just cannot like convey to you. I'll try to put some pictures right here, like the scale of this club. But it's also very expensive, and I think the company is Space Entertainment. I'm pretty sure they are a Chinese
owned, yeah.
owned company, and they have a large like Chinese clientele compared to some of the other clubs. So if you go there, I feel like there aren't that many Western foreigners.
I
there.
saw quite a few kind of bouncing in and out,
Yeah.
but it is more Asian than non-Asian, yeah.
But it's a really cool place, especially if you like EDM. If you go on a night where there's like a good EDM DJ, it's like unbelievable.
Yep.
So okay. So do you have like a favorite club? Like, do you like that kind of those kind of places or?
Not as much. I would prefer something with live music versus nightclubs.
Okay.
But I would actually leave Bangkok and go to either Pattaya or Phuket for nightclubs.
Really?
In my opinion, I think they're way better.
Okay, so like I haven't really been to Pattaya, but what about Phuket? Where would you go in Phuket?
Actually, I have a new favorite one. It's called Armania. So it opened maybe, a couple of years ago, but they just now added on a nightclub to the back of this place. It's on the walking street, and man, it had awesome shows coming every 15 minutes on stage.
Okay.
Whether they're people dancing, tying themselves up in rafters, the DJs were changing nonstop, and it was really, really good music there. So the crowd wasn't as good as you would see at other places, but I think it just needs time to get more popular.
Okay. Modzii, have you gone out in Phuket? Where do you like in Phuket?
Phuket.
Yeah.
For the nightclub, I'm not going yet.
No?
No.
Okay. What about Pattaya?
Pattaya, Miss Club.
Mist.
Mist.
Yeah, I
Republic
hear that a
Republic is
lot.
also
Miss
really
Club.
nice.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody tells me these two.
I always
Republic
go
and
to
Mist.
Republic, and then I go to Mist when that one closes, because Mist stays open till like 5 a.m.
Okay. So at some of these clubs, they have these girls that walk around. Sometimes they're in like a costume or they're wearing something special. Sometimes they're in more like normal clothes, like a dress or something. And they'll just like come up to you and they'll start talking like they're your best friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like maybe a minute into it, or maybe a few minutes into it, they're like, "Oh, can you buy me a shot, tequila shot, this or that, whatever." Who are those people? Can you explain? Because it's not always clear if you're in one of these places.
I think they're dancers, right? So they're entertainers at the club, and they're also going out to try to get these lady drinks as well that you'd get in a beer bar.
So that's the thing, is like at some of these places, you don't even realize they're working for the club.
Yeah, the first time I knew that they were working. So my friends and I went for someone's birthday. We did a VIP package at Sugar, and I think we paid about 25,000 baht for this VIP package. And I was a little bit appalled that after doing that, these girls that were dancing on the stage came over and asked for lady drinks afterwards. I was
Really?
just like, I wouldn't allow them. Like, for me, if I were managing, I wouldn't allow these girls to come ask for lady drinks from someone you just kind of, got $1,000 out of for.
Yeah. Well, maybe
a
their
VIP
logic
setting.
is, oh, these are the people spending a lot of money.
Maybe
so what's a little more?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, cool. And a lot of these clubs, by the way, they have a cover charge, but they give you a free drink or a voucher or something when you pay to go in. So like, for example, on Route 66, you pay 300 to go in, but they give you a 200 baht voucher to buy a drink. And the reason they do this is because like some guys, they'll go in there, not buy anything, and just walk around and try to hit on girls, and it's super annoying. So that's kind of one way to like weed those people out. Sugar is kind of the same way. It might be 400 baht to go in, but then you pick whatever drink you want, and it's included.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so those are nightclubs. And then there's tons of other kind of like, I'll call it everything else. There's normal bars
We've got
that
membership clubs as well.
Oh,
you forgot
bonus
about those.
category. Yeah. Okay, hold on, because I don't know much about that. You can talk about that. But just so you guys know, if you come to Bangkok, there's tons of like normal places, if you want to consider it that, where no one's going to talk to you. Just go out, buy a drink, hang out, DJ. There's not anything going on with like girls working on commission. There's tons of those places. I think that just the reputation here is that everything is like about these go-go bars or these like freelancers or whatever. So just want to let you know there's tons of regular places out there too. But you just started to mention, what did you call them?
Membership clubs.
Membership clubs. So I have zero experience in this area. So you enlighten me.
So these are the high-end gentlemen's clubs in Bangkok. Normally they're for Asian business travelers. Can be for other people as well. But typically these clubs you don't always have to, but some of them you actually have to buy a bottle membership of maybe 10 or 20 bottles up front. So you get a year-long membership. So that gives you a discount with everything else. And basically, it's they have live bands inside. They've got dance shows going on from very top-end beautiful women. And they're typically the same sort of style, but you need to pay like it's an Asian gentleman's club style. If you like the girl, instead of buying her lady drinks, you actually pay for her time. So she'll come and sit with you for whatever their hourly or 45 minutes fee is going to be. And then they'll drink the bottle that you already bought. So if you did a membership bottle service, you can pick like whiskey or vodka or whatever you want. So they'll bring your first bottle to you, all the mixer and all these things you buy, and they'll drink your drinks with you. You don't buy lady drinks per se for them, but you'll need to spend money for their time to sit with you. I went to one of them, and I think it was like 2,400 baht for every 45 minutes or something like that for the girl to sit with you, which was quite high, I thought. There is a different range of these depending on the clubs.
Were you the only like Western guy in this place?
In this one, I think my group was. There was 3 of us, and I think we were, yes. But I knew the owner, or not the owner, but the entertainment director who owns like a late night restaurant and bar, and that's why I went there, because I kind of knew where to go. We went to another one before that because we were also curious about these places, wanted to check them out, and that one did have a few other Western people, but mostly Asians, mostly Chinese, some Thai as well. But in these places, I think they're more for business. So if you have customers coming in from another country, they want to take you there and entertain you so that the business goes well. So even for me, my first time to Asia, I experienced something like this in Taiwan, and I didn't have any idea what I was getting into. They asked me if I wanted to go to the special nightclub, and I'm like, sure. I had no idea what that meant, and it was basically a hidden karaoke room where girls came and sat with you and drank with you all night. And that was how they entertained all their international business customers. And so that's kind of like just what they do for people traveling.
Okay, yeah. I don't think this is really my thing, but I would like to see it at least once just to kind of like check it out. All right, so we kind of covered a lot. Let's make just some specific recommendations for people that might be coming here. So if you are a young guy, let's say in your 20s or early 30s, where would you suggest they go?
Khao San Road.
Khao San Road. Well, so Khao San Road. What kind of places are at Khao San Road?
Mostly like blaring competing DJ music between all the bars, so you can't hear anything. But there's nightclubs there, but there's also a lot of just sit outside and buy beer.
Yeah, it's super casual.
Very casual.
Like it's not like some of these other nightclubs, they're more dressy, something like that. But at Khao San Road, it's like guys in Chong
and it's
tank
where
tops.
you meet a lot of girls that really desire vacation boyfriends.
What's a vacation boyfriend?
Like some guys here for 2 weeks, and they're girlfriend or boyfriend for 2 weeks and they go back home.
Oh, it's the best kind of boyfriend.
But they're looking for a long distance relationship.
It's called holiday
Oh,
boyfriend.
Yeah.
holiday boyfriend. Oh,
Same thing,
okay.
same thing.
Sorry. How many holiday boyfriends have you had?
0.
Oh, okay.
So, but what's funny about it is like, when I first moved here, I couldn't believe how many of these girls are like dead set on getting a long distance relationship out of one of these things.
Really?
They're like they love these holiday and vacation boyfriends because they don't want to be in Thailand long term.
Okay.
And they hope to make a long distance relationship when these people go back home. And I found that like if you live here too long, people really don't want to these type of people that want to get out of Thailand, they don't want to date you because you've been here too long.
Yeah,
or you know
I've
too
had that
much.
experience.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if a girl finds out that I've been here, or especially if I like start speaking Thai,
Right.
sometimes they write me off immediately. Like,
Yep.
because what do you think about that, Modzii? Like if you see a guy that, let's say he speaks Thai really well, what do you think?
I can make friend, but not continue like a boyfriend girlfriend for sure.
But why?
For me, I'm not sure because all my friends is the same, but I have the feeling can be friend.
But for me, for me that feels like
if
something different.
you are live here, right, we can see each other continue all the time, can see each other, but if boyfriend girlfriend one day we broke up, we not see each other.
So, do you want to leave Thailand at some point though to live somewhere else? Is that the goal, or for dating, or not really?
I want to
Or
live.
you want to stay?
Yes.
You want to stay in Thailand?
Yes.
Okay. So for me, if I think that you want to stay in Thailand, but I hear that like you don't want to date somebody that speaks Thai,
Yeah.
my immediate thought is you don't want me to know what you're saying about me. And so that's like kind
The thing
of
is,
to me, I don't like
if
that.
you've been here for a while, and especially if you can speak Thai even a little bit,
Yeah.
I think it opens up a lot of doors and opportunities. And that's not always a good thing.
It shuts
if-
a few doors as well.
It's not always a good thing. Like if you're a female and you want to
Yeah.
maintain a solid relationship, I think that's the thing. Modzii, can you explain what a butterfly is?
Butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh, I have many friends butterfly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's a butterfly?
Butterfly, it have like many girls around, and everywhere he know a lot of girls. Everywhere, every place he going.
Okay, yeah. So it's like a guy that knows a lot of girls, goes from girl to girl, that kind
Well,
of thing.
I want to know.
Like, it lays.
I think there's some female butterflies out there too. Would you agree?
Yeah.
okay, I just wanna
Well,
make sure.
we call them something different, I think. But yeah, there's girls out there that definitely squeeze all the juice out of the lemon.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're on the younger side, you said Khao San Road. Now, if you're like 30s to 40s, where do you think guys should go check out?
It depends what you like to do, right? So if you're interested in like strip clubs at your home, or if you want to go to Gogo bars, I would go to Nana Plaza first, probably, over Cowboy. Maybe Soy Cowboy was okay as well.
Right, so there are 3 major go-go bar areas
Right.
in Bangkok. There's Nana Plaza, which is it that the biggest one?
I guess so.
Yeah, it's
Maybe the biggest one in a compact area,
Yeah,
right?
Nana Plaza is like almost like a town square
Right.
full of go-go bars, 3 floors tall.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it's like many guys come to Thailand and they basically live in that one complex and
Sure.
then they go home. So you can definitely get lost in there. Then there's Soy Cowboy, which personally I like better because I feel like Nana Plaza is like really cutthroat. Like it's like a machine. It's like a money-making machine, and it can be like really robotic. Like I'm not interested in some of these other activities that go on there. Like I just
Right.
want to go and hang out and have a drink and chat with some friends. For me, Nana Plaza isn't that great because it's like too hardcore. So like how
Well, they have the outside spot now, right? You can sit
They do,
outdoors, and maybe
yeah.
that's not so bad. But I don't think that many people take advantage of that when they go, though.
Yeah. I think if you're going to Nana Plaza, you're looking for some specific things. Soy Cowboy, on the other hand, I find to be more relaxed, like a little more casual. Not saying there aren't places there that are like still pretty whatever, but yeah, I like Soy Cowboy better. And there's a third one that I've never been to, which is
Silom, of course, right?
Pat Pong.
Yeah, in Silom.
Is that what's the deal with that?
That's where you go if you want to see a ping pong show.
Oh, okay.
If you want to see a frog come out of a lady, that's
Okay.
where you go.
Okay.
And I really saw that. And I was really surprised when I did.
You know, when you especially late at night when you're like walking onto some of these bars and you're heading towards the taxis, they have these taxi drivers that have like almost like a menu, and they'll say like, oh, you want to go meet lady, you want to go boom boom, something like that, and it's like a menu. And just for the heck of it, the other day I'm like, let me take a look at what this guy has.
Well, I was with you, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because there was some funny stuff on there, right?
It was the weirdest thing I have ever seen in my life. Because I pass these guys all the time, and I never look at it. But what was on that menu? What did it say?
I don't even know, but some of the terminology was like, what is that? What could that be?
It said like lady frog, like lady smoke cigarette. It's like lady, I don't know. It's like all these weird word combinations that really
lady light a candle or something like that.
Light a candle. It's like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but
yeah, there was a lot of weird things. And then I actually asked him if it was from Siloam, and he said, yeah. So that was from that. He was wanting to take you to the Pat Pong area and put you inside one of these shows. So actually, I went with a group of tourists that came from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And they were friends of a friend, and they wanted to go see a ping pong show.
Yeah.
So I took them there, and they wanted about 500 or 600 baht per person to get in.
Oh, just to get in?
Yeah. So you get one drink out of that, and then you sit there and watch the show, which lasts about 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's like about 15 different shows that the lady can do. There's 2 or 3 of the ladies, one on each side of the stage, that can do this.
Totally not my thing.
But actually, we negotiated the price for 300 each. So we got 300 each, and we got a free or one drink out of it.
Okay.
It was well worth it just for the grand finale.
That's what I want to know. Is it worth it, or do you think it's?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, if you have a weak stomach or not, I don't know. Like, some people get really grossed out by it and like, oh, I'll never see this, but. It's pretty interesting for me. I like to see it once. You know, I think you should see it once. One time
is enough.
Yeah.
Modzii, have you ever been to the ping pong show?
Not yet.
Never. Okay.
You want to go?
Yes.
We'll go together.
Yes, please.
All right. And so, if you're older, on the older end, let's say like 50s, 60s, where do you think those guys could hang out?
I think typically they're going to go down, not on Soi 4. There's a lot of live music there, or maybe Soi 11 as well. There's a lot of like restaurant and bars and live music venues, like the Hilary complexes are all the live music ones. And there's a few other ones now as well. So there's those style, but you know, it depends again what they're looking for. There's sort of there's the whole rooftop bar areas as well, which is a whole nother genre of things to do. So it depends how much money you want to spend. If you're looking to take advantage of lady services at some of these bars, or you just want to go out and have a good time and do something regular, you know?
Yeah, and we're talking
it really
about,
depends what you want out of it.
We're talking about just, again, like some specific things here. I mean, if you want to go out and have a good time and just go to a cool roof bar or like a cocktail lounge or a jazz bar, there is all of that in Bangkok. It's just that I think when people think of Bangkok, many people think of just one kind of thing. And it's really just, there's so many different options here. And that's one of the reasons I love living here, is because you could have dinner at a great Italian restaurant and then go for drinks on top of a skyscraper on a roof bar, and then head to like a hip hop club before you end the night at Soy Cowboy. Like, you can do that all in the span of like 2 hours.
Right. And then you can jump into tuk-tuk and just go where they take you.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Never let them take you. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we could talk about this for another 2 hours, I'm sure. But if you're coming to Bangkok and want to know where you should be going, drop us a comment below. Either Chad and I or Modzii can let you know our opinion. If you guys want to see more videos about going out in Bangkok and the types of things that happen here, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.